Good morning, everyone. It is Monday, January 6th, 2025, and we have a winter storm on the way. I have my coffee ready to go, and I have snow falling in Freehold and in many locations throughout the region. So, just want to give you an idea of what's going on today. Today, we're doing a special premium public video discussion for the next 7 days. With also some thoughts on the storm potential for this upcoming weekend. I'm going to touch on that very briefly. Then we go back to the regular premium video discussions tomorrow. Um, I wanted to do this just that way we can cut down on time rather than do two videos and then do additional video. The rest of today we'll be doing hourly video updates, which we will be posting on X and YouTube, and of course at nynjpaweather.com. And for all the premium members, again, we have the Storm chat room opened up. So if you have any questions, concerns, you can email me or you can go right to the chat room and talk to me, and we'll have a conversation, which is what you pay for. So there you go. So let's dive into the data here and go right here. Okay, so currently we have snow breaking out throughout the region as I put into the 8 a.m. update. And still dry in the New York City metro, as you would expect. The dry air is really putting up a fight, but I do expect light snow and flurries to start to break out in that region within the next 90 to 120 minutes. So let's say about 9 to 10 a.m., you'll start to see that snow starting to break out. Nice moderate band showing up here in AVP. That is Scranton. Moderate snow in Scranton. Wait a minute. Why is that happening? We'll talk about that in a moment. We're also seeing moderate snow breaking out in central New Jersey. Snow's already covered here in Freehold. Pretty impressive within 20 minutes. Moderate snow, moderate to heavy snow now being reported in Philadelphia. So if you want to know whether you're dealing with moderate snow or heavy snow, basically look at the visibility. When you're below a mile, you're talking about pretty good snowfall developing over the region. Same thing down here in Millville. You're seeing snowfall, moderate snowfall. Wildwood snowfall, and moderate snowfall. Let's see here. And then, of course, down towards Baltimore and towards Annapolis. This is where you're starting steady, moderate to heavy snowfall. So this is where we're expecting the most snowfall accumulation. So Cape May, you guys who normally change over to rain, this is for you. This storm is for you. Yeah, it's going to be missing the northern tier, but down there, down the coast, this storm is a special one for you as it will produce the most accumulating snowfall in the region. So this frontal boundary here is very interesting. See, this is the drier air pushing southward. So this is why you're not seeing the storm pushing into New York City. This is a cold, dry air mass that is pressing south on our storm, which is why you're going to see the snow shield get cut down in this area as this dry air starts to push to the south and west. So we take a look at the latest WeatherTap radar and surface map. Again, there's that dry air pressing down. This is all due to the upper level trough here that is pressing through the St. Lawrence River Valley. Here you have your moderate to heavy snowfall here. This right here is not a broken part of the storm. It is the 700 millibar low. This is typical of any type of these storms. So you always get a quote unquote dry slot in this area. You don't have a strong extratropical storm without this feature. But then this back end is what's going to be following behind it for locations like southern New Jersey, southeastern Pennsylvania, the Delmarva Peninsula, and Maryland. And when I say southeast Pennsylvania, I mean the extreme southeast to the south of Philadelphia. That's where this is going to be marching its way through. But in the meantime, you got snow throughout the morning and into the early afternoon hours. Now, taking a look at the infrared satellite picture, you can see the strong lifting here. This storm is moving at a pretty healthy pace, which is expected. That's why we're not seeing enhanced snowfalls over a foot in many of these locations, unless you get into the Baltimore area where you get a little bit more of influence from banding and intensification of the snow. There is our trough here, very nicely put here with the water vapor satellite picture. There's our upper level low. This block sets the whole storm up from even happening. Otherwise, it would just escape out into the Atlantic with no issues at all. You can see the warm air transport that set up our snowfall, and there's our upper level low behind it that will be marching its way due east. It cannot move northeast, it must move due east because of this whole setup here. You can see that very nicely here under 250 millibar winds. There's our upper level low around the Canadian Maritimes. This feature right here is what knocks down the storm. If this was a little bit further west, it would have enhanced the storm and create a negative tilt, which could have led to an even more powerful winter storm. But location matters in meteorology, and as a result, because of this feature dropping due south rather than southwest, what you end up with is suppression rather than phasing. See, it's an important lesson. You can have a perfect weather pattern, great high latitude blocking, but if one feature is off with a winter storm, you're not going to maximize the potential. Okay, that's the reality. That's why winter storms are so difficult to pull off, because literally you have to have everything come together just right. So that's why you're not seeing heavy snowfall being forecasted for New York City, because this feature dropping into the St. Lawrence River Valley prevents that from happening. But still pretty good divergence and diffluence over the mid-Atlantic, setting up our moderate snowfall. And here we are at the 850 millibar low, getting ready to elongate and jump the coast. This is typical with the Appalachian Mountains. This redevelops along the coast, and we basically see the cold air pretty much locked in. No potential here of mixing it at all until you get down towards Baltimore and Washington, where you can get some sleet mixed in at times, even a little bit of rain on the southern suburbs of the Washington, D.C. and Washington, D.C. metro. But for us, no potential for any type of mixing. And again, this really illustrates the cold, dry air, the Arctic air bleeding south, the warm air pushing north, the confluence zone between the two right over the New York City metro, which is, again, what prevents your snowfall. But that steady warm air transport is what supports your snowfall being steady in Philadelphia through the morning and early afternoon hours. Once this lifting starts to shift off the coast, the snowfall comes to the end until the back end marches its way through. And so one of the things that's really interesting is that the frontogenesis, especially at 700 millibars, is a little bit further north, just a little bit. I was expecting this. This is why I kept the forecast the same. But this little feature here is what sets up that band that has been surprising people here in northeastern Pennsylvania. Now, as this lifting dives south and southeast, that band will be doing the same thing and heading towards central New Jersey. You'll get maybe a half an inch more than what's forecasted in northern New Jersey. So I'm looking at a dusting to an inch in the forecast. So you might get a half an inch to an inch and a half rather than just a dusting if you get clipped with this band here that drops south. And that shows up very nicely here again on the radar. I tell you what, let's take off the winter mask because we all know it's snowing and zoom in, and there you can see that enhancement via the 700 millibar frontogenesis. So this feature will be diving south, and this is why, again, you can see the lighter greens here. This tells us we have Virga. There is our influence from the frontogenesis band right here, interacting with the dry air. I'm not expecting much. Flurries here. You'd be lucky to get a dusting out of this in Connecticut in the Hudson River Valley, but it's going to be a nice moderate snowfall for the Philadelphia metro and a nice heavy snowfall that's just showing up very nicely here down towards southern New Jersey, Cape May, Atlantic City, and Delaware. So that's why we're seeing that enhancement, a very nice enhancement. We were actually talking about this for the past couple of days. I like the idea of this dropping south through southern New Jersey, which is why I kept this enhanced snowfalls in the forecast. And again, look, the snow ratios we're going to be above 10. So that right there would put you in the ballpark, and then we'll see what happens. Now, in terms of the storm for this weekend, I kept the forecast the same because I don't see any use in jumping from no snow, snow, no snow, snow. It would just create a lot of confusion. So here's the basic rules here, so that way you don't waste your time following model guidance. This feature here is ejecting. This feature here is trying to catch it. If they catch, big storm. If they don't, well, you end up with this positive tilted trough, and you just basically get this cold front with a weak wave of low pressure, and not really much of a big deal at all. So that's the difference in the forecast. The timing of this short wave and this short wave. If they line up, like what we saw in the solution here, then you could see a pretty impressive storm. If they don't, then you just get a lot of sheared mess. That's the difference. And the thing is that once we get an idea of what happens with that, then that kind of plays out for the rest of the month in terms of storm potential. So this is kind of a big deal. It's kind of a make or break for the whole uh, month of January, whether we're looking at cold and dry or cold and stormy. So definitely check out the premium discussion on that, where the long range thoughts, where I give more details on exactly what I'm looking at and where I'm leaning towards in that potential. So for the rest of this storm, let me just close this here real fast. This is the HRR guidance, which has been doing a pretty good job here. Certainly better than the European. European at this point already busted too low based on what I have out here. So let's look. Yep. Oh yeah, it did already. So there we go. So when I take a look at the HRR, again, pretty good snowfall through the rest of the morning, starts to break down in the afternoon. Most of us are done by 4 p.m. Okay. By 2 p.m., it really starts to collapse. By 4 p.m., it's done, except for this feature right here. So southern New Jersey gets a little bit of break in the late afternoon hours, but then as we move into the overnight hours and evening, you get another round of rain, another round of snow marching its way through southern New Jersey. That's going to add maybe another half an inch to an inch on top. We'll watch to see this mesoscale banding that sets up. Again, if I'm looking for the heaviest snowfall in the New Jersey area, I'd go down to Cape May. That's your best potential. Heavy snowfall in the forecast area, basically Delaware and New Jersey. Of course, we don't forecast for Baltimore and Washington, but if you really want the heaviest snowfall, all of this, probably right between Baltimore and Washington or the northern suburbs of Baltimore. Game on. And look, those guys have been dying for snowfall. So, hey, there you go. So that's going to swing on through. And of course, that's the forecast here. Traced to 1 inch. That 1 inch looks pretty good in northeastern Pennsylvania right now. 1 to 3 inches in zone 2. That's Allentown, Trenton, Monmouth County, Freehold, Princeton. And then for the 3 to 6, that's the zone 3. That includes Philadelphia. Again, many locations are going to be in the low end of the forecast at 3 inches, but when you get those moderate bursts, considering it's in the 20s and everything's going to accumulate and the snow ratios are high, that's going to push some locations up to that 6-inch mark. And then your jackpot area is 6 to 12 inches. Again, your best potential for that 12-inch amount, Delaware, Maryland, Wildwood, Cape May, those locations. You're more likely to be closer to 6 to 8 inches down towards like Ocean City, but you get the idea here. Pretty good snowfall for the region, at least for the southern half of the region. So again, for today, snow throughout the day, throughout the morning, into the early afternoon, clearing out towards the evening. Look for temperatures to range from the mid to upper 20s throughout the region, so obviously supporting snowfall accumulation. Tonight into tomorrow, as northwesterly wind develops, around 10 to 15 miles per hour. Low temperatures in the mid to upper teens. Going to feel more like the single digits for tomorrow. That northwesterly flow continues at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Watch out for gusts over 30 miles per hour. There's going to be a chance for a few flurries, a few snow squalls. In fact, there's a better chance of seeing accumulating snow around the Catskills and Hudson River Valley via this snow band than the storm for today. Look for high temperatures in the lower to mid 20s over the northern interior, mid to upper 20s in the Delaware River Valley, upper 20s to lower 30s along the coast. It'll feel more like the teens and 20s. For Wednesday, northwesterly flow continues. Chance of flurries, scattered clouds. Wind chill is going to be a problem. Basically, in the teens in the afternoon and the single digits in the morning. Look for low temperatures ranging from the mid to upper teens over the northern interior, lower to mid 20s along the coast. High temperatures ranging from the upper teens to lower 20s over the northern interior, mid to upper 20s along the coast. On Thursday, northwesterly flow continues, a threat for a few snow showers. Look for low temperatures in the lower to mid teens over the northern interior, mid to upper teens along the coast. High temperatures in the lower to mid 20s over the northern interior, upper 20s to lower 30s in your suburbs, lower to mid 30s on the immediate coast and urban areas. For Friday, high pressures in control. Look for scattered cloud cover. Look for low temperatures ranging from the lower to mid teens over the northern interior, upper teens to lower 20s in your suburbs, lower to mid 20s in your urban areas. High temperatures will rebound into the mid to upper 20s over the northern interior, lower to mid 30s along the coast. Then Saturday is your wild card. As you can see right now, the mild guidance is just showing a few snow showers with the cold front moving through. The difference between this being a blockbuster storm or a non-factor has already been discussed, but let's just say chance of snow on Saturday. We'll go with that for now. But you can see the vast difference between a major winter storm and basically nothing but a few snow showers. Look for low temperatures in the lower to mid 20s over the northern interior, mid to upper 20s along the coast. High temperatures ranging from the mid to upper 20s over the northern interior, lower to mid 30s along the coast. So plenty of cold air. This will be all snow if it does play out. So we'll keep an eye on that. Sunday and Monday, high pressure will be in control with scattered cloud cover expected. Look for low temperatures to range from the lower to upper teens to mid 20s over the northern interior and mid to upper 20s in the suburbs, upper 20s to lower 30s in your urban areas. High temperatures will range from the mid 20s to lower 30s over the northern interior and mid to upper 30s along the coast. That is your forecast discussion for today. I will be back each hour with updates on the current storm throughout the day until everything starts to taper off. So, in the meantime, stay safe out there.